after that session, of course, as has already been said, it's always the graveyard session when, and especially when you have food as good as this, normally you tend to overeat. But I think after that massage session, some of you would be, awake. And people who are not awake or who want to sleep, just promise you one thing, you'll not snore so loud that your neighbor gets disturbed by it, and the speaker also. So if that's a pact between us, then let's start. I think whatever we have been discussing since morning over here, please come. Is Harold also around? And
yeah, he's here.
Okay, great. So, whatever we have been discussing since morning, I think is really encouraging. And today, if you look at it, and we were fortunate enough to be there in the room when our Honorable Prime Minister, Mr. Narendra Modi, said that the world today is fighting a war, which he called in his term a Rakt Vahin Yudh, bloodless war. And he was referring to nothing but cyber terrorism. And as you see today, the way things are moving, so earlier we had 2G, then 3G, of course I'm not talking about the scams only, I'm talking about the technology also. And then 4G has come and we are on the verge of 5G also coming in. If you look at how things have moved right from the time we had virus scanners as the first level of cyber security that we used to talk about, to enterprise security, to moving ahead. And what is going to happen in the future, no wonder we require a lot of people. Just to throw some statistics, I'm sure you would have been bored by statistics since morning, but let me throw some more statistics. If you look at 5G, they are talking about 100 megabits per second to be provided in the metros. There would be scenarios where 1 GB per second would be available to colleagues on the same floor in an office organization. When we are talking about massive wireless sensor networks across cities, which will enable vehicle-to-vehicle communication, or V2V as it's called, and then V2 IoT is also coming in, and a lot of new such things which we haven't heard about earlier on would actually happen, where if one vehicle is approaching another vehicle in a collision, automatically the engines and the machines will talk to each other and the collision will be avoided. Imagine if the cyber terrorists that are there today get into this kind of a network, and I don't know how many of you have read this Isaac Asimov science fiction novel called as Moon is a Harsh Mistress, where it talks about how a computer actually takes over to neutralize the fascist forces that are existing on Earth. It's a science fiction. But very frankly, anything can be done. So how do we take care of identity and access management? How do we take care of endpoint security? How do you take care of web security? How do you take care of messaging security? Today, there are so many, social media is the in thing. How do you take care of all those things? How do you take care of security and vulnerability management, network security? And most importantly, how do you educate and train people? There are courses available today, and in fact, we at Nasscom Foundation, and probably that's where we are working towards, along with Symantec, we have a program where women who are trained in cyber crime would actually be given a scholarship under this program. So today, if you find no women over here, probably we need to have more women also represented on this panel. But going ahead with this all-male panel, I think what is important is realizing that it's a thing today that is required. Throwing some more statistics at you, in 2015, cybersecurity products market was $38 billion US, cybersecurity services was $41 billion. So with that kind of a background, when we are talking about with technology changing, how things would change, it'll be very interesting to see. And given the topic of the session where we are saying 1,000 new startups and 1 million people who are cybersecurity specialists, etc., I think we have a wonderful panel over here with us today. So I will now take a break over here to introduce our panelists. And the panel is a very unique panel because you have people who are from established players who have been there in this field on security for many years, to new startups who are there, to people who represent, and just to introduce the entire panel, Trishneet Arora, CEO, Tax Security, a startup. We are having Amarjeet, ICT, and an angel investor. Again, he is on many cybersecurity startups also. Then we have Mr. Dinesh Pillai, who is CEO of Mahindra Special Services Group. And as we know, Mahindra has been an existing player in this area for so many years. We have Mr. Rohit Srivastava from Quick Heal, which is also one of our partners, where we provide NGO solutions of Quick Heal at very, very discounted prices, etc. And we have Mr. Debrabhat Nayak, Chief Security Officer of Huawei India, as well as Harold, who has joined us from Intelligent Question Security Systems. So if you can see, we have got a very, very unique panel. So probably what I would like to suggest is, let's hear what these panelists have to say. So I'll ask them to start with an opening statement, post which I'll throw up a couple of questions, or if you